Okay, so picture this. You are absolutely at the top of your game. You're hitting every deadline, crushing every project, and to everyone on the outside, you look like a total superstar. But inside, you're running on empty. Well, that's high-functioning burnout. It's this silent condition that hides in plain sight, and it often just looks like success.
Now this line right here, it comes from a moment that should have been a huge deal, a spectacular professional failure that should have been gut-wrenching, but it wasn't. So, let's dig into why that is.
All right, let's set the scene. We're in the high-stakes, high-pressure world of a startup. You know the vibe. Insane deadlines, really demanding investors, and this constant nagging pressure to be brilliant, like yesterday. The job was to lead a team, build an entire brand from the ground up, and somehow manage a massive product launch.
So from the outside, it looked like they were a rock star, just effortlessly turning total chaos into a coherent, brilliant strategy. But on the inside, yeah, the tank was completely empty. They were already burned out, but were just so good at their job that not a single person noticed.
And look, the red flags were everywhere. You couldn't miss them. The business model made no sense, the investors were basically running on hopes and dreams, the timeline was a complete work of fiction, and the leadership was all over the place. The narrator saw all of this, but honestly, they just didn't have the energy to fight it anymore.
So when the whole thing, predictably went up in flames, the reaction was just emptiness. Not sadness, not anger, not even that little "I told you so" feeling. Just nothing. And that wasn't resilience, that was resignation. It was a sign that the emotional core had basically been shut down for months.
Okay, so that feeling, that total numbness when everything goes wrong, it actually has a name. It's a very specific condition, and it's something a lot of high achievers go through without even knowing there's a word for it.
So here's what's so tricky about high-functioning burnout. It isn't about, falling apart. It's actually the opposite. It's about keeping up this perfect, shiny exterior of performance, while on the inside, your motivation and your emotional connection to the work have completely withered away.
And this is the key question, right? Because high-functioning burnout is so easy to miss. It just doesn't look like our classic picture of what burnout is supposed to be.
When we think of burnout, we picture someone crying at their desk, right? Missing deadlines, totally overwhelmed, but high-functioning burnout? It's the silent version. It's hitting every single goal but feeling zero pride. It's overperforming while you've completely checked out emotionally.
And these are those quiet little clues, the whispers you might ignore. That feeling of producing incredible work, but secretly just wishing someone else would take the wheel. You're doing everything by the book, everything right, but your gut is just screaming that something is deeply wrong.
So, the big question is, why? Why do we get stuck in this cycle? Why keep pushing so hard when every part of you wants a break? Well, it boils down to this really powerful psychological trap.
This right here, this is the lie we tell ourselves. We think we're the one holding it all together. We're the fixer, the hero. And if we can just hang on a little bit longer, push a little bit harder, everything will finally calm down.
And it starts with something like this, doesn't it? It's that short-term finish line that makes the pain feel temporary. If I can just power through this launch, then I can finally breathe.
But of course the launch happens, and guess what? It's still chaos. So the finish line just keeps moving further and further away. Relief is always just around the corner, next week, next quarter, but it never really shows up.
And this is the final hook, the one that really keeps you stuck. It stops being about just surviving. It turns into this massive sense of responsibility. The belief that if you let go, the whole world comes crashing down around you.
Okay, so recognizing you're in the trap is huge, but how do you actually get out? The good news is, the path to recovery isn't about some grand, dramatic gesture. It's about small, consistent work you do on the inside.
Look, you don't have to blow up your life to start healing. You don't have to wait for that perfect 2-week vacation. It's about starting small, quietly, right where you are, by focusing inward.
So here are 3 really practical ways to start. First, the rule of 1. This is all about stopping the overwhelm. Just pick one thing, one goal, one boundary. That's it. Second, bare minimum days. This is about giving yourself permission to be human, to have days where you just do enough to get by. And finally, Toolkit Tuesdays. Think of it like a scheduled meeting with yourself, a non-negotiable time to check in and see how you're really doing. When you boil it all down, getting better from this kind of burnout really just comes down to one thing: giving yourself permission. Permission to be human, to have limits, and to put your own energy first.
First off, you have to know this. You are allowed to be both brilliant at what you do and also struggling. The two can exist at the same time. Your worth is not tied to your perfection.
And you're also allowed to stop being the hero. It's not your job to single-handedly save a sinking ship, especially one that doesn't even want a life raft. You can let go of things that are designed to fail.
And this might be the most important one. You are allowed to rest before you break. Rest isn't a prize you get for good behavior. It's the fuel you need to function in the first place. You don't have to wait until you hit rock bottom to deserve a break.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. Being high-functioning does not mean you're invincible. Your energy is the most valuable thing you have, so take a real, honest look. Where's your precious, finite energy actually going? Is it being invested in things that build you up, or is it just being burned to keep a broken system running? The choice really is yours.